Barnaby the puppy wagged his tail, but only a little. He was a gentle soul, always a bit shy, and today his nerves were showing more than ever. His big brown eyes darted around the room, searching for comfort in the familiar corners of his home. Today was a big day, his very first playdate at the park, a place he'd only seen from the safety of his window. The thought of leaving his cozy spot and stepping into the unknown made his heart thump a little faster. Lily, his human, was bursting with excitement, ready for adventure. She had been talking about this day all week, planning what games they might play. Barnaby, on the other hand, felt a flutter of worry in his tummy, unsure if he was ready for so much excitement. He loved Lily and their quiet garden, where the only sounds were birds and the wind in the trees. The garden was his safe place, filled with soft grass and gentle sunshine, a world he understood. But meeting other puppies sounded scary, like stepping into a world he didn't understand. The idea of noisy games and new faces made his paws tingle with nerves. Lily clipped on his special red lead, the one that always made him feel safe on walks. The familiar click of the clasp was a small comfort, a reminder that Lily would be right there with him. But Barnaby's tail barely moved, drooping low as he shuffled beside her. Each step felt uncertain, as if the ground itself was new and strange. What if the other puppies didn't like him? What if they thought he was too quiet or too small? The questions swirled in his mind, making him feel even smaller. What if he didn't know how to play their games, or couldn't keep up with their energy? He worried he might not fit in, or that he'd be left out of all the fun. As they walked to the park, Barnaby's paws felt heavy, each step slower than the last. The world outside his home seemed so much bigger and louder than he remembered. The sounds of barking and laughter in the distance made him nervous, his ears drooping at every new noise. Every bark and giggle felt like a challenge he wasn't sure he could face. He stuck close to Lily, pressing against her legs, hoping she'd understand how much he needed her right now. Her presence was his anchor, steady and warm. The park was full of puppies, fluffy, spotty, bouncy, and all so lively it made Barnaby's heart race. Everywhere he looked, there were wagging tails and happy yips, a whirlwind of energy and excitement. Lily unclipped his lead. "Go on, Barnaby, make some friends," she said gently, her voice full of hope. She knelt down and gave him a reassuring pat, letting him know she'd be watching. Barnaby froze, watching the confident puppies play, wishing he could be as brave as they were. He longed to join in, but his paws felt glued to the ground. He felt small and alone, even with Lily nearby, the world suddenly much bigger than before. The park seemed to stretch on forever, filled with possibilities and unknowns. The world outside his garden was full of surprises, strange smells, new faces, and endless possibilities. Every corner of the park held something new to discover, if only he could find the courage to explore. He wasn't sure he was ready for them, not yet, not all at once. The playground felt like a stage, and he wasn't sure he knew his part. Lily smiled encouragingly from the bench, her eyes telling him she believed in him. She gave a little wave as if to say, "I'm right here if you need me." Barnaby took a deep breath, trying to be brave, but his paws wouldn't move just yet. He closed his eyes for a moment, listening to the sounds around him, searching for a bit of courage inside. This was much scarier than he'd imagined, but maybe, just maybe, he could find a little courage with Lily by his side. After all, every big adventure starts with a single brave step, and Barnaby was almost ready to try. The park was a whirlwind of activity, and Barnaby felt lost. Everywhere he looked, there were dogs barking, tails wagging, and paws thumping on the grass. The noise and excitement made his heart race, and he wished he could just disappear. It was as if the whole world was spinning around him, and he was standing still, unsure where to go or what to do. A big golden puppy dashed past, making Barnaby jump. The puppy didn't even notice him, but Barnaby's ears flattened in surprise. He felt invisible, like a tiny pebble in a rushing stream, swept aside by all the energy around him. The other puppies played in a happy pack, not noticing him at all. They tumbled and rolled, barking with laughter, as if they'd all been friends forever. Their game seemed effortless, and Barnaby wondered how they made it look so easy. Barnaby hid behind Lily's bench, watching from the shadows. Some puppies played tug-of-war, their teeth gripping a rope, tails wagging furiously. He wished he could join, but his paws stayed rooted to the ground. Others dug holes in the soft earth, dirt flying everywhere. None of it felt right for him. He didn't know how to join in, or even if he wanted to. The game seemed wild and loud, and he felt too small for all that chaos. He worried he'd get in the way or do something wrong. What if he barked too loudly or tripped over his own paws? The thought of making a mistake made his stomach twist with nerves. Lily gave his ears a gentle scratch. "It's okay, little one. They're just having fun." Her voice was soft and warm, and Barnaby felt a tiny bit braver. He leaned into her touch, letting her kindness calm his racing heart. Barnaby wanted to be brave, so he watched a group chasing a butterfly. The butterfly fluttered and danced, and the puppies followed, yipping with excitement. Their laughter floated through the air, light and free. Maybe he could try that game. It looked gentle and fun, not as wild as the others. The butterfly seemed to invite him, its wings shimmering in the sunlight. He crept closer, paws trembling. Every step felt huge, but he wanted to try. His heart pounded, but curiosity pulled him forward, just a little at a time. The puppies pounced and leaped, full of energy. Their joy was contagious, but also a little overwhelming. Barnaby watched, hoping he could catch just a bit of their courage. Barnaby tried to copy them, crouching low. He watched their movements, hoping to fit in. He took a deep breath and tried to move the way they did, even if it felt strange. But he felt clumsy and awkward. His legs tangled, and he stumbled, feeling everyone's eyes on him, even if they weren't looking. Embarrassment prickled his fur, and he wished he could hide. He wasn't as fast or bouncy as the others. No matter how hard he tried, he always seemed a step behind. It was like chasing a dream that kept slipping away. It felt like everyone else knew the dance, and he didn't. He wondered if he'd ever learn the steps. The park felt bigger than ever, and he felt smaller than before. The feeling of being alone grew bigger. The laughter and games seemed far away, like a world he couldn't reach. He watched the other puppies, wishing he could be part of their fun. He missed the comfort of his garden. There, everything was familiar and safe, and he never felt out of place. The garden was his own little world, where he belonged. Making friends was harder than he thought. But deep down, Barnaby hoped that maybe, just maybe, tomorrow would be a little easier. He promised himself he'd try again, because even the bravest puppies start with small, shaky steps. Barnaby tried to join the butterfly game. He leaped but tumbled into a heap. The other puppies barely noticed. Embarrassed, Barnaby's tail drooped. He felt invisible, wishing he could fit in. He watched the others play, longing to join but too scared to try again. He returned to Lily, sighing sadly. Maybe playdates weren't for him. Lily stroked his back. Sometimes it just takes a little while to make new friends. Her words were comforting, but the lonely feeling lingered. Barnaby wondered if anyone would ever notice him. He watched the happy games from the sidelines. Would he always be left out? Just as Barnaby was about to give up and let his head droop, a spotty puppy with one floppy ear came trotting over, her eyes bright and curious. She seemed to notice Barnaby sitting all alone in the wide green park, looking a little lost and unsure. The sun was shining, but Barnaby felt a little cloud over his heart, until he saw her friendly face. She'd seen his tumble, and the way he had walked away sadly, his tail tucked low. It was clear she understood how he felt. Sometimes, it takes just one kind glance to make someone feel seen, and Daisy's eyes were full of understanding. She wagged her tail gently, offering a soft, friendly woof, as if to say, "It's okay, I'd like to play with you." Her voice was warm and inviting, not too loud or pushy, just right for someone who needed a gentle friend. Barnaby wagged back, just a little, his ears perking up with hope. He wasn't sure, but maybe this was a chance for something new. His heart beat a little faster, and he felt a tiny spark of excitement. The spotty puppy nudged a bright red ball toward him, an invitation to join in. Her name was Daisy, and her smile was warm and welcoming. She seemed to know just what to do to help Barnaby feel comfortable. She waited patiently, not rushing him or barking loudly. Daisy seemed to understand that Barnaby needed a little time. She sat quietly, her tail sweeping the grass, showing him that she was happy to wait as long as he needed. Barnaby took a deep breath and pushed the ball back with his nose, feeling a flutter of excitement. It was a small step, but for Barnaby, it felt like a big leap toward something wonderful. Daisy pounced and pushed it to him again, her tail wagging even faster, encouraging him to keep playing. Her playful energy was contagious, and Barnaby found himself smiling for the first time that day. They started a gentle game, just the two of them, rolling the ball back and forth in the soft grass. The world around them seemed to fade away, leaving only the joy of their new friendship. It wasn't loud or rough, just the kind of play Barnaby liked best. The peacefulness made him feel safe. He realized that he didn't have to change who he was to have fun. For the first time, he felt happy, his worries melting away as he played with Daisy. Every roll of the ball made him feel lighter, as if the park was filled with laughter just for them. Daisy understood his quiet way of playing, never pushing him to be louder or faster than he wanted. She matched his pace, making sure he always felt comfortable and included. Their game was simple and fun, filled with gentle barks and happy tail wags. The grass was soft beneath their paws, and the sky above seemed a little brighter. Barnaby forgot his worries, focused only on the red ball and his new friend by his side. He felt a sense of belonging he'd never known before. He wasn't on the outside anymore. He felt included, and that made all the difference. With Daisy, he discovered that sometimes, all it takes is one friend to change everything. He was finally part of the fun. Friendship had found him, and Barnaby knew he'd never feel alone in the park again. With Daisy by his side, every day could be a new adventure. As Barnaby and Daisy played, more puppies joined their gentle game. A poodle, a beagle, and a chihuahua made their circle grow. Barnaby was in the middle, no longer shy or scared. He passed the ball, ran, and pounced. This time, it felt right. His new friends cheered him on. He realized everyone just wanted a friend to play with. When Lily called him home, Barnaby felt a happy pang. He licked Daisy's ear goodbye and wagged at his new friends. The park wasn't scary anymore. It was full of adventures. Barnaby walked tall beside Lily, tail high. He knew he'd sleep well, dreaming of friends and the red ball. He couldn't wait for the next playdate. He was still a little shy, but now he was also a little bit brave.